Friday to you. I am Sarah Ruppel, host of the Agent Survival Guide podcast, back with another recap of 5 things you should know about. And as I was sitting down to write the script, it was with a flat tire and without my usual Starbucks cold brew. And my cat, who is very used to his routine, does not know what to do with himself. So naturally, he just jumped up and almost knocked over my hot homemade coffee all over my laptop. But just because it's starting out as a 1-star day, that doesn't mean it needs to end that way. We can only go up from here, right? So all of that being said, let's get into our list, which happens to include new spring coffee menus coming to both Starbucks and Dunkin. First up at number 5, Starbucks has new spring drinks on the way. They will be switching over to the new menu on Tuesday, March 3rd. If you are a lavender latte lover like me, you'll be happy to know that lavender powder and lavender cream cold foam will be back, so you'll be able to order a new iced lavender cream chai, the returning iced lavender cream matcha, the lavender cream frap, and my personal favorite, the lavender latte. New flavors for this spring include ube and toasted coconut, the latter of which will be available all year round. Ube is a flavor that I am not as familiar with, but very excited to try. I've heard it described as mildly earthy and nutty. I've heard it referred to as a mild cookies and cream, and those two profiles are very different tastes. But there's also a vanilla and slightly coconut vibe to the flavor that I've heard about, so I am intrigued. I love trying new things, and I will probably be ordering this one on Tuesday and reporting back next week. New drinks with those flavors include a toasted coconut cream cold brew, a toasted coconut latte, and an iced ube coconut macchiato. And then for chai fans, more customization options for ordering. You'll be able to adjust the level of sweetness, spice, and overall flavor according to the Starbucks release. As a fellow cold brew customizer, I love that for our friends who drink chai. Coming in at number 4, let's talk Dunkin. Now, where Starbucks is going a little more conservative with their drink menu and scaling back limited edition offerings, Dunkin is adding quite a few new drinks. The Dunkin menu for spring drops on Wednesday, March 4th, and it includes a whole lot of banana, which, to be fair, I've also never had a banana coffee, so I can't say if I'm here for it or if I would pass. New banana-themed coffee drinks include the banana cream iced coffee, the chocolate-covered banana iced coffee, the banana protein latte, a banana shaken espresso, the banana pudding latte, a monkey business latte, and the nutty banana Dunkin latte. From a marketing perspective, I love the names that Dunkin gives its drinks. I think it is a clever way to distinguish between the different types of drinks, makes it a little easier for customers to order, less confusing for baristas to make, but then it's also that much easier for the beverage to go viral if it has a fun name that makes it that much easier to share with others by either word of mouth or on social media. And then last but not least on the list, the one coffee that is not banana related, a hazelnut Dunkin latte for all you hazelnut lovers out there. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the wild test Dunkin is running at a few locations, beginning with Massachusetts, the 48-ounce iced coffee bucket, like literally a bucket of coffee. This was a viral trend last summer that I somehow missed out on, but it is also so very Dunkin. If you follow the coffee chain on social media, they can be a little unhinged. Some mild to moderate trolling happens on their feeds. So the fact that they actually put this into production, it is marketing gold. If you happen to try any of these new coffees as you're out and about in the coming week or so, let me know how you like them. You can send us an email at asdpodcast@ritterim.com. And if you get the Dunkin iced coffee bucket, please send a picture in with your email. We will definitely give you a shout out here on the show. Now that we are properly caffeinated, let's get into number 3 on our list. This week, Instagram announced that Instagram for TV is expanding. And if you, like me, did not know that Instagram for TV was even a thing, Instagram for TV is a thing. So the original news dropped in December last year, right around the time I and likely many others began their holiday vacations. And then this week, Instagram announced that they were expanding availability of the app from Amazon Fire TV devices to also include Google TV devices. And while this might seem like a really strange move, it's very similar to moves already made by YouTube and TikTok, both of which can be viewed on a TV. You do need an account to watch Instagram for TV, which sets Instagram apart from TikTok and YouTube, which can both be viewed without a user account. The experience isn't great, but for kids in the age group of too young to have social media but old enough to want to watch the viral videos their peers are talking about, small price to pay. Instagram for TV allows for up to 5 accounts, and you can make a new account just for watching on the TV. I like that as an option to get a family feed going that includes a little bit of something for everyone. Instagram says in their original release that the app was designed with group viewing in mind. It also seems like content is curated for a broad audience using a rating mode inspired by the PG-13 movie rating. According to Instagram, that means, quote, limiting access to content, comments, and profiles that may be unsuitable for people under 18, end quote. Also, important to note, if you have limits set up on your kids' teen accounts, watching on your TV does count toward those limits, so something to think about there. I like this as a way to be able to watch content alongside your kids. I think adding in that parental guidance factor is such an interesting concept. The lines are also becoming much more blurred as far as entertainment goes. YouTube was the first to gain entry to that living room space, then TikTok, and now Instagram. It's a very interesting opportunity for creators at the moment. But in the future, definite potential for advertising, which could get really interesting. I have neither an Amazon Fire TV or a Google TV, so I cannot test out the app firsthand. But when it comes to Samsung, I will definitely be able to report back. Until then, if you have it or if you end up trying it, let me know what you think. Number 2, scams are everywhere these days, and the targets for those scams are apparently becoming pretty niche. NIPR recently announced reports of a phishing email scam targeting NIPR clients, claiming to be collecting on past due invoices. And to add to the fun, these phishing emails appear to come from the NIPR.com domain, as well as the NAIC.org and @Stripe domains. The National Insurance Producer Registry, or NIPR, has advised agents to read email correspondence very carefully. If you think an email is suspicious, do not open any attachments, do not click on any links, and most importantly, do not send payment. Couple of tips for spotting a phishing email. First, double-check the email address. You can click on the domain name in the email header info to see the real email masked by the vanity domain. That usually reveals some wonky spellings, characters, or punctuation if it's fraudulent. Check the greeting and see if it's personalized or generic. If it starts out, "Dear customer," that's a big red flag. Tone and grammar can raise other red flags too. If there are spelling mistakes and, again, unusual punctuation, it's probably a fraudulent phishing attempt. If there are links in the email, do not click them. Hover over them to see where they lead. And then specifically for communication attempts from NIPR, you can actually verify the legitimacy of an invoice by sending an email over to the NIPR billing department. That official address is nipperbilling@nipper.com, and we will have that in the episode notes so you can double check it. Unfortunately, scams never take a holiday, whether they are targeted at us as insurance agents or at our clients. In the notes, you'll also find our blog post on how to keep your clients safe from insurance fraud. There are a couple of good refreshers in there, so be sure to check that out. And if you'd like content to share with your clients, we recently published a packet on the content library all about identifying scams, and you can share that with your clients. Coming in at number 1 this week, CMS recently released their newest batch of enrollment data, and the amazing folks over at KFF have put it into some very helpful tables and graphs, which if you've listened to the pod before, you know that we love KFF, their stats, and the visuals that make those stats easy to understand and compare. So first things first, we have the latest on enrollment numbers for Medicare Advantage. Enrollment is up 3% in 2026 compared to 2025, which in actual enrollment numbers means an increase of 1.1 million enrollees. That brings total Medicare Advantage enrollment up to a smidge over 35 million individuals. Taking a closer look at that 1.1 million enrollment increase, there was a definite shift in 2026 compared to 2025. And this year, we saw more SNP enrollment changes than individual plan enrollment changes. Enrollment changes from year to year were pretty similar in both 2025 and 2026. 2025 saw a 1.2 million enrollment increase, while in 2026, MA grew by 1.1 million enrollments. Back in 2025, however, individual plan enrollments represented 560,000 enrollment changes, while special needs plan enrollment changes made up 601,500 enrollment changes. In 2026, the gap between those two types of enrollment changes grew, with just 224,200 individual enrollment changes. Special needs plans enrollment changes, on the other hand, grew by 882,600 enrollments. SNP plan enrollments were responsible for 83% of enrollment changes in 2026. And then overall, the amount of people with special needs plans increased from 21% of MA enrollees in 2025 to 23% of MA enrollees in 2026. Number-wise, SNP plans had a total of 7.2 million enrollees in 2025. In 2026, those numbers increased to 8.1 million individuals enrolled. Some other numbers to highlight for 2026. We mentioned this one before, but total Medicare Advantage enrollment currently sits at 35.1 million individuals. That breaks down to 31.3 million MAPD enrollments and 3.8 million Medicare Advantage only enrollments. And then we can also break that 35.1 million MA enrollees into 21.3 million individual plan enrollments, 8.1 million SNP enrollments, as we just mentioned, and 5.7 million group plan enrollments. There are a couple other highlights from KFF in this report. One thing, again, that we appreciate here at the Agent Survival Guide podcast is that when KFF highlights this information, they also allow for easy downloading of their visuals. I especially appreciate the breakout of enrollment by plan type from 2010 through 2026 that you will find at the bottom of the report. So just keep scrolling down. It really does give perspective to how the industry has grown and evolved over the years. And that is something that it will continue to do. And if you'd like more insight on these and other enrollment stats, I hope you have registered for Craig Ritter's State of the Senior Market presentation next week. He will be diving into the data much deeper. There will be carrier info, enrollment trends, and he'll be able to offer some insight into what to expect as this year progresses. Definitely don't want to miss out on that. So the link to register for Craig Ritter's State of the Senior Market will also be in the episode notes. That is all we've got for this week's episode. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay healthy and stay safe out there, and we will see you next week. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an integrity company. This episode was written and produced by me, Sarah Ruppel. Script editing and fact check by Emily Ryan. Podcast design by Urban Rivera. Like what you hear? Follow along with our show wherever you get your podcasts.